Hey guys, how's it going? Professor Shuckle here, and I'm back with yet another draft league, and I'm going to go over my draft. Uh, so I got into the Hive, which is supposed to be one of the one of the most competitive and like really good leagues with like really good players and stuff. So how I got into it was my friend Skyhorse one like got took over a team in their lowest division, which is called Weedle, and he won. So he got an invite, and he used it on me. So he's the goat for that. And I got in, and I signed like I mentioned my interest to take part in a league, and I got a spot for season 8. So the Hive has like a tiered uh, draft league division, kind of like a ranking system with promotion, relegation, and stuff. Kind of like a soccer, like football Premier League, uh, which is cool. So Weedle, so it's like based on the Hive nomenclature. So Weedle's the lowest, then you evolve into a Kakuna, and then you evolve into a Beedrill, and then finally you Mega evolve into Mega Beedrill. So those are the tiers. Unfortunately, due to like dropouts and stuff, or like fortunately for us, we were put straight into Kakuna, and so we skipped Weedle, which is like interesting. So that's good. So we actually play in the same division as Skyhorse, which is cool because otherwise he would have been in he would have been in Kakuna, and I would have been Weedle. But yeah, so we got a chance to play in Kakuna. And yeah, also I'll be using Dark Cave Darkrai for this, so which is kind of cool because I'll use Dark Cave Darkrai for this and Toronto Toxtricity for IBL. So I'll have like different logos, which is cool, and we get to show off both of our awesome logos. So yeah. Anyway, this was 16-man draft. Yeah, 16-man draft, and we ended up getting 10th out of 16, which is not the best. Like it's in the middle, so you're always in danger of getting sniped, and most of the broken stuff. Like I want to use Dragapult really badly, but again, I won't get a 10th pick. So that's unfortunate, but anyway, like my plan as usual was just to pick the most broken thing left to start off with. And oh, also they do like a tier system with, so you have to get like a tier 1, a tier 2, two tier 3s, tier 4, a tier 5, and then you have to get a mega, and then you have free points. So, and your total points can only be 1,000, and you have to draft a roster of 11. So it's kind of like a tier system basically, like the GBA or WBE. So that's pretty cool. But they do split tiers. So they have like tier 1A and tier 1B. But if you pick them on from either of those tiers, like 1B will be slightly lower, like 180 points, I believe, and tier 1A was 200. But if you pick them on from 1B, it counts for your tier 1 or 1A. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, let's jump into the first pick. And yeah, we started off by grabbing Mega Gallade. This was still free at pick number 10. And it's a mon I've used in the past. I'm currently using it in the league, and it's putting in the work. Super strong Pokemon, and has a really fantastic speed tier right off the bat, like 110 and 165 attack, both of which are like pretty good. It also has pretty solid special defense, so it can like eat hits on the special side pretty well. And on top of that, Mega Gallade has like a bunch of support moves and like coverage and everything. It gets Knock, which is really good. It gets Leaf Blade for like the water types, the bulky water types. It gets Poison Jab for the fairies. Close combat, obviously. Sword Stance, Bulk Up. It also gets Wish. It gets Wisp. It gets Thunder Wave. Yeah, really good support. It also gets Taunt, Encore. Like it has a bunch of moves it can use. So like half the time it struggles with like 4 move slot syndrome because you want to fit like 5 moves. Super high attack stat, so you can always just like run no investment and just run Sword Stance and still OHKO everything after a boost, which is really cool. Yeah, and with Gen 8, Inner Focus got a buff so that Intimidate doesn't work on it anymore. So before, like Granbull and Quillfish or like Landorus T, bulky with Helmet used to switch into it a lot, trying to get chip damage on it. But now with the Inner Focus buff, like Granbull can't even come in because it drops to +2 Poison Jab. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I drafted first super, like it's a fast, hard like hitter, and yeah, it just fits my style. I like mons like Mega Diancie, Mega Gallade, Tapu Koko, like things that just hit hard and are fast. I love those kind of mons. So Mega Gallade. Also, like the megas are tiered a little differently. 20 basically means that it's like the top tier mega and costs 20 points. And like some of the lower tier megas like Mega Camel or Mega Audino give back points, so they're like minus 60 or minus 100. So yeah, 20 points for Mega Gallade I thought was like a pretty no drawback pick. And it's like it fits well on a lot of teams. So yeah, that was our first pick. And second pick, for some reason, Clefable was still free round 2. Like this is a mon that goes round 1 sometimes. No, sorry, round 1 most of the times. But it was free, and I was still debating because there's Tapu Fini as well left, which was also was like leaning towards, and there's something else I was leaning towards, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, but Clefable was definitely one of them, and with the buff to teleport, where it now acts as a slow pivoting, yes, basically negative priority pivoting, is really cool because Clefable can wish pass plus teleport's broken because you're going last and you get the switch momentum, which is really cool. It did cost 200 points, which was the maximum tier 1A, but I thought it was worth it. Clefable's stats aren't like outstanding by any means, like 95, 73, 90 bulk, special attack 95, and like speed, but like the stats aren't that great. What makes it broken are its two like super fantastic abilities. One of them is Magic Guard, so you're not taking any hazard chip or like status chip, like poison or burn. And you can also run like life or Magic Guard sets, which have recently found like really, really good on Clefable. So yeah, that's really cool. And then Unaware, so it stops all Sap Sweepers, which is really cool. Additionally, it has set up like Calm Mind, Cosmic Power, Stored Power, has pretty good coverage with like Fairy, Electric, Fire, Ice Beam as well, I think. I'm not sure. It also gets Knock, it gets Thunder Wave, so again, like bunch of support options, gets a Wish, gets Heal Bell. Great glue mon, and you can run a bunch of sets on it. So yeah, like it can be offensive clef, it can be defensive clef, it can be unaware, it can be setup clef. Like yeah, bunch of sets again. I think it supports Gallade really well. So yeah, like the things that switch into it are like poison and steals, and Gallade will deal with those. So that's already looking nice. This might have been a pick most people don't agree with, like getting round 3 Cinderace. I think Cinderace is really cool. In this league though, it's only Blaze. Like in IBL, Libero Cinderace was allowed, that's why I grabbed it round 1, but here it's only Blaze. But I still think Cinderace is a really cool Pokemon. It was 140 points only, so I thought it was kind of a steal. I thought it was like 160 points worth, in my opinion. But it has a pretty good attack stat and a pretty good speed stat, so it's like it gives us something fast. It does have U-turn, which is really good for momentum. And then it gets core change, which is, you know, the main thing. Like you run boots and then core change, so people will be afraid to set up hazards versus us. Or at the very worst, we can trade hazards with just core change and not bring our own, which is really cool. It gets like taunt, bulk up, and then with Blaze, you can actually run bulk up pretty nicely because once you get in Blaze, Pyro Balls start to hurt, which is like 120 base power move without recoil. So, I mean, it can miss, but more often than not, it's preferred over Flare Blitz. And it does get like Zen Headbutt, Gunk Shot, High Jump Kick, obviously U-Turn. So, pretty solid mon. It can definitely be a Fairy Killer as well. And it's hard to switch into, and if they're bulky waters, we click U-Turn and go into our next pick right here, which is Kyurem, which was free round 4. Now, Kyurem at 160 points, kind of expensive, but like it basically helped dealing with bulky waters, which we were kind of beginning to struggle with, and starts to form our Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Kyurem pretty solid offenses in both 130, 130, decent bulk with the HP 125, 90, 90, and with pressure it can definitely like stall out. It does get Roost, so a Roost like Subtoxic Kyurem is a pretty old, like trusted old set that can put in work with the pressure stalling and can definitely check things that damage it super effectively with pressure stall. Like it can, I've seen it 1v1 Celesteela and stuff by just pressure stalling out its effective moves. Pretty decent speed tier at 95. Like we already got speed in 110 and one like 19, so we have something at 110, something faster, and basically this base 95 forces the base 100s to run timid or jolly, which is really good. It does get dragon dance, like dragon dance is allowed on this, which is amazing, and it does get icicle spear and freeze dry. So freeze dry is really good for the the bulky warriors, as we can pressure them now, and they can't do much to us because of our dragon typing. Yeah, it has decent coverage. Doesn't really get like electric coverage, but has electric or fire coverage, but it has everything else like steel, ground, dragon. Dragon's of course broken. Yeah, it has okay-ish coverage on the physical side, but it does get like icicle spear and stuff, which is cool. So yeah, I'm not sure if this gets scale shot. It might even get scale shot now, so that's another cool addition to it. Oh, also yeah, I forgot to mention this league does allow the new DLC leaks, the DLC 2 leaks as well. So like scale shot and all that stuff are allowed, grassy glide and all that, which is cool. Yeah. Next up, I decided to grab Blastoise, which I thought was a steal at tier 4A. Tier 4 Blastoise, yeah, honestly, I thought was a steal, so I had to grab it a little earlier. I really like Blastoise now because it got Flip Turn, which gives it pivoting. So pivoting on a Bulkymon is really nice because you get the slow momentum. And then it obviously has Shell Smash now, so it's obviously can be a huge threat as well. And does offer Rapid Spin now, which is really cool. Because until now, we had a couple of weaknesses. We can obviously run boots, but having the option to spin would be nice because, we get rid of, we can remove their item dependence on boots. We do have Cinderace with Core Chain, so this is like our second removal. Decently bulky, 79, 100, 105. Decent, offenses as well, like with a decent speed, especially once you Shell Smash, because you get +2, +2, +2. Sadly, it didn't get its hidden ability isn't that good, so it's only Torrent, but Torrent does hit really hard once you get in that Torrent range. So, yeah, really good Pokemon. Has pretty good coverage, has like Dragon, Ice, Dark, Fighting, Psychic. Like, it has pretty good, has Earthquake too for the electric types. So it has pretty good coverage for sure. Like, if you get a Smash off and you find the opportunity, can definitely put in the work. So, yeah, and of course it has like Flip Turn, has Seismic Toss, has Mirror Coat, has Rapid Spin, has Aqua Jet, so it's a pretty good defensive wall as well, like it can help with sand and stuff. Yeah, pretty solid mon, and I had to get it as my bulky water. I thought it was like a steal at 80 points. So, yeah, we got. And next up, we got another steal in Registeel, which is a steel type and completes our Dragon Fairy Steel Core. It costs 100 points, which I think is fair because Registeel is like a very solid steel type Pokemon. Like, look at that boat, 80, 150, 150. Yeah, super bulky. Doesn't have like offenses, but it can set up for sure. But having Body Press now with that massive 150 defense stat is really good because it can be a threat even while running defensive stats. Like, before, to be offensive, you'd have to run like investment in offense or set up with Curse or something. But now, you can just have super bulky and have body press and still do a good chunk of damage to anything trying to switch in if they don't resist it. Yeah, solid. It also gets rocks, pretty solid. Gets Thunder Wave. Its coverage isn't the best, but it gets Seismic Toss. It's a little passive, but like you have to prepare for it. It can hits in conjunction with Clefable with Wish support. Can definitely be a nuisance to get rid of. So yeah, pretty solid mon. I really like Registeel. I think it's solid. So yeah, we got our Reggie, which is nice. Next up, we were looking really ground weak with Cinderace and what's the Registeel, and then not having a resist or immunity yet. So I decided to grab Weezing, which doesn't help versus 1,000 Arrows or Mold Breaker, but yeah, like it helps versus everything else with Levitate and having a high physical defense stat. So yeah, Weezing really cool. Gives us Toxic Spikes, which is really nice. Neutralizing Gas is also a fantastic ability because with it now you can wall Mega Mawile, you can wall like Conk, you can wall you don't have to worry about getting trapped because you can run Gas and then just get out. So yeah, pretty cool mon for sure. Pretty physically bulky. Its special defense isn't that great, so it doesn't deal with special hits that well. Its coverage is okay as well. Gets Sludge Beam, Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt, Flamethrower. Gets Wisp as well for like Paint Split. Wisp has moves Gyro Ball for like fairies, like rock fairies and stuff that want to switch in. And most physical attackers will want to switch in. Also, you can miss Toxic with poison types, so Toxic is like pretty free as well on things trying to switch in. Yeah, pretty solid mod. Again, super bulky, which is nice, like starting to form like a bulky core for us. Next up, I still needed a dark type, so I decided to grab Obstagoon, which is honestly like the best one left. I kind of messed up a bit. I probably should have prioritized a dark type, but yeah, there was nothing good left, so I decided to get Obstagoon, which can work as a status absorber for the team. 120 points, probably a little expensive. I would have it at 100, but anyways, Obstagoon has pretty solid bulk. Its bulk is actually better than Clefable, which is kind of weird because it's supposed to be an offensive mod. But it has 93, 101, 81, so it can actually live hits, especially if you invest, because most people just run like max speed, max attack, but if you invest, it can definitely live some hits for sure. It gets Parting Shot, which is really cool, allows Shell Smash Blastoise, or Swords Dance Glade, or Dragon Dance Kyurem, or even set up into Clefable, which is really cool. And 90 attack isn't the best, but with Guts and like the Flame Orb set, and Facade being Stab, it can hit hard, and Stab Knockoff is really good as well. It gets like Close Combat, Fire Punch, Gunk Shot, and stuff as coverage, which isn't too bad. And most Fairy types can't even switch into this because Facade would hurt, so unless you're Steel Fairy, it's hard to switch into Obstagoon as well. Defiant is another cool ability if you're trying to like go Intimidate, and then Defiant will just activate and give me the +2. Reckless, Scarf Reckless sets are also pretty good with Double Edge. So yeah, pretty solid mod. Not the best dark type, but we have to make do. And yeah, 95 speed tier doesn't help us much either, but it is what it is. Like, it's solid offensive dark for sure. It can definitely beat the Psychic, so if it can do that, that's good. Next up, we got Rotom Fan to also help with our ground weakness some more. So yeah, we got an Electric Flying. I always try to have an electric type on my drafts. I kind of feel like weird not having one. So Rotom Fan's pretty good. Pretty good like defensive typing because you resist steel, you're immune to ground, you resist flying. So that was another cool thing. And with boots, again, it's a pretty good like switch in. It can defog as well, which is cool. It has Paint Split, which works really nicely with its low HP stat. Pretty solid bulk with 107, 107. Pretty good special attack, and it does get Nasty Plot, but unlike the other Rotom Fans, its secondary stab isn't as good, which only access to Air Slash. It doesn't get Hurricane, sadly. But Volt Switch, Wisp, Paint Split, Thunder Wave, Nasty Plot, like decent coverage. I think Rotom's like just a good pivot. Good bulky pivot and bringing in threats safely and just switching in. And yeah, and electric types are good, pressuring the water types and flying types. Like, can pressure Torn-T and like Pidgeot and stuff, which is cool. Decent Scarfer as well, so that's always good to note. And like for most electrics, people go into like grasses or grounds. But here I can actually switch this in on grounds because ground types cannot touch me, and then, so that's good. Yeah, 40 points, I thought was good. Worked well. Next up, we got Leafeon because we still fixing our ground weaknesses. So we got Leafeon at 20 points. Another Wish Passer, super physically bulky, which is nice. So basically, we have a bunch of physical defense probably, so forcing Reggie or Clefable to run Spadef to check hits, which is fine. It can also be used to counter some weather teams because we have Chlorophyll and we can run Sunny Day Life Orb and start smacking things with, because base 110 attacks pretty good and it has decent coverage in like Solar Blade, Knockoff, Leaf Blade's pretty good. It does get Weather Ball for like fire, like weak, like frail steals and stuff, which is pretty cool. It does get Baton Pass, and I'm not sure on the Baton Pass rules of the league, we'll have to see, but if Dry Baton Pass is allowed, it can pivot out as well. Gets Heal Belt support as well. Pretty bulky, physically defensive, so it can check Drill and stuff, which is nice. Yeah, that's our team. And finally, we still have one. And we decided to grab Rhyperior, the ground rock type, for 80 points. My friend GCS calls Rhyperior God, so hopefully, God puts in work for us. With HP Water gone, it can actually wall like a bunch of electrics and stuff if they lack the coverage. Ground Rock is not the best defensive typing, but like it can help versus like things like Pidgeot, which can't touch it. Like what else? Toxtricity. If I don't know if a Toxtricity was drafted, but like Cinderace and stuff. Solid Rock as well works really nicely with its bulk. 115 HP, 130 defense. Another thing is it can run weakness policy, rock polish sets, and be super scary as well. And definitely hit super hard with that 140 attack. Spadef is lacking, so it'll likely die to like Surf and Scald and stuff. But you can run through bulky Rhyperior, and essentially because of its attack stat, you can probably trade a kill for a kill, which is not bad, honestly. Gives us another rocker and gives us a ground typing, which is important. Again, since I waited so long to get a ground type, most of the good ones were gone, and like they were actually picked really, really early. So yeah, that kind of messed up our plans, and we had to get Rhyperior. But I think it can put in the work for sure. Yeah, like Rhyperior, I think is still solid and can definitely put in the work when needed. So that's our draft, and this is just a quick like run overview, a summary of the team so that all of them are in one. So we have Mega Gallade, Clefable, Cinderace, Kyurem, Blastoise, Registeel, Weezing, Obstagoon, Rotom-Fan, and Leafeon, and Rhyperior. If you see, we don't actually have any dual typings, and it actually covers 16 of the 18 types. We are only missing Ghost and Bug, I believe. Yeah, Ghost is good, but the only ghosts worth getting are like the offensive ghosts. So yeah, I didn't really feel the need to grab one. Our speed tiers are okay. We have Cinderace at 119 and then Mega Gallade at 110. And then we're just Kyurem, Obstagoon, and Leafeon hanging around the 95, and then Rotom-Fan at 86 and Blastoise at 78. So basically we're forcing people like from 80 to 110 or 80 to like 121, 130. We're forcing them to run like positive speed natures and not positive attack, special attack, which is cool. Definitely have some room for Trick Room as well because we have Rhyperior and like Clefable and stuff in the back. But yeah, solid. We have setup. We have like powerful Mountain Gallade, Clefable, Kyurem, Blastoise, Obstagoon. So hopefully we can put in the work. Yeah. Lastly, I decided to just make like a pictorial representation of my roster and try to fit it in. I thought it looked cool, so I just put it in. And as you can see, we have like the nice fire, water, grass core of Blastoise, Cinderace, Leafeon right here. We got our nice Steel, Kyurem, and Clefable. Steel, Dragon, Fairy core right here. And Mega Gallade the first pick and probably the most important member because Mega Gallade will have to break a lot. Like a lot of pressure is on it, but I think Mega Gallade is a super really good mon, so I think it can work. So yeah, that's our draft. Let me know what you think about it. And just a reminder, we're really, really close to 50 subs. So if you watch my content and you like it and you haven't subbed, it'd be cool I would really appreciate it if you dropped a sub because it's free and reaching 50 would be really cool, especially within my first year for sure. So yeah, I appreciate all the support and all the comments and feedback I get. And yeah, to everyone who watches it, you're a real one. And yeah, that's it from me. I will be week 1 for this is extended to end of the month. So I'm probably playing a little late because of my commitments, but yeah, I'll be uploading Hive as well. Hive I'll be doing postcom for sure because it's a more competitive league than IBL, and I want to make sure I do my best. So live com distracts me because I have to speak, even when there are pauses and stuff. But when I just want to think and stuff. So yeah, that's it. I'll be back with IBL week 2 next week, and we're currently playing UC and TDT playoffs. So based on when UC ends, I'll upload my playoff battles for that as well. TDT I'm probably not uploading. I did record 2, but I think I'm gonna record just because Little Cup, and I don't want to upload any more Little Cup for a while. Yeah, that's it from me. Bye, and have a nice day.